Please, we'll see.
Very well.
We'll see.
My lord,
There is one batch of candidates who are untainted, selected, not found any.
Please, please,
So
please.
therefore,
Let's
their selection.
let's not have piecemeal arguments. Let's
Very
start.
my lords would hear the state first and the commission first and.
I don't know. Whoever wants to start, can
Because
start.
we are students, we are the people who are.
1 minute, please. We said on the last date also, you decide who wants to start.
The state has been starting, Manoj. Normally the state starts earlier.
Okay, fine. Please do start this thing. You are appearing for the state. I
No,
think
no, I'm not for the state, Manoj. I am saying the state has been starting. I am for the untainted category.
Limited prayer, millet. State has a limited prayer, millet. We are the affected candidates. Therefore, millet.
Okay, whoever wants, let the state start and then the others can start.
We would respond in our turn, notice para 265. The state has admitted before the High Court that no segregation can be made. It is so colossal. That para 265 in the judgment is the
Okay,
admission of the state.
okay, please. Yes, please. You're preparing for the.
I'm appearing the state.
For state.
Because if your lordships has the order of this court, my lord. So data. 7th May 2024. That sets out, my lord, in some detail how the matter comes up.
Yes.
May I place this order, Mr.
Please do.
Paragraph 3, Mr. In 2016, the School Service Commission in West Bengal conducted selections for recruitment to 4 categories of posts. Assistant teachers for class 9 and 10, assistant teachers for class 11 and 12, non-teaching staff of the group C category, and non-teaching staff of the group D category. Notification for the state level selection test was issued on 16th February 2016. An OMR based written examination was held on 27th November 2016. The final panel for candidates for class 9 and 10 was published on 12th of March 2018. The merit list of empaneled candidates was published on 28th August 2018. Candidates joined as assistant teachers in or about January and February 2019. A batch of petition was instituted before the High Court challenging the selection process of 2016. The selection process for assistant teachers was governed by West Bengal School Service Commission. Selection for appointment to the post of teachers for class 9 and 10 in secondary and higher secondary schools, rules 2016. Likewise, there are rules governing the selection to assistant teachers for class 11 and 12 and also of 2016. The selection for Group C and Group D non-teaching posts is governed by West Bengal School Service Commission, rules 2009. The writ petitions before the High Court were instituted in 2021. From time to time, interim orders were passed by the High Court annulling the appointments on the ground that appointments were made illegally. The appointments were assailed initially before the division bench of the High Court and ultimately the dispute travelled to this court. By its order dated 9th of November 23, this court held that the direction of the High Court for the termination of services of candidates at the interim stage, even before the final disposal of the petitions, ought to have been avoided. This court, while dealing with a batch of petitions directed in Achinta Kumar Mandal versus Lakshmi Tunga, that all the issues relating to the appointments of 2016 should be examined by a division bench of the High Court, and accordingly, an order of remand was passed. The issue of maintainability of the petition was kept open. The order of remand has resulted in the impugned judgment of the High Court. The High Court has held inter alia that all appointments made in the selection processes involved were violative of Article 14 and 19 of the Constitution. and are therefore null and void. As a consequence of the judgment of the High Court, approximately 25,000 appointments would stand to be set aside. During the course of the hearing of the cases before the High Court, there was a direction to the Central Bureau of Investigation to conduct an investigation in regard to the alleged acts of criminal wrongdoing arising from the selection process. The order dated 9th November 2023 directed the CBI to complete its investigation within 2 months and to submit a report of the High Court. In the meantime, this court directed that the appointments which have been made shall stand protected for a period of 6 months to enable the division bench to adjudicate upon the matter. Before the High Court, as indeed before this court in the earlier proceedings, a fundamental issue which arose for consideration was in regard to the admissibility of the OMR sheet images which have been recovered by the CBI. The court noted that the investigation by the CBI has yet to be completed. The admissibility of the OMR sheet images being in question, this court observed that the question of the exercise of power in relation to discovery of electronically stored OMR sheets implicated serious allegations in regard to manipulation of records. Having regard to the number of persons who are likely to be affected by the outcome of the proceedings, it was considered appropriate to remand the proceedings back to the High Court for final decision on the writ petitions. Before dwelling further on the ultimate directions which have been issued by the High Court, it would be necessary to note at this stage that 3 reports were filed by the CBI after the remand of the proceedings. The impugned judgment of the High Court has dealt with the reports of the CBI. It would be necessary at this stage to make a brief reference to the report dated 5th February 2024, which is the final report which was filed before the High Court. The report of the CBI notes that the West Bengal School Service Commission had awarded a work order to a company by the name NISA Communications Private Limited for scanning and evaluation of the OMR sheets pertaining to the selection test for each of the 4 categories. The scanning of the OMR sheets was undertaken by the company at the office of the SSC. It further emerges during the investigation that the company which was awarded the contract by the SSC had further assigned the work of scanning the original OMRs to an entity by the name of Data Scantech Solutions Noida, which was present at the premises of SSC for completing the scanning work. According to the CBI, after completing the scanning, the processed data in the form of scanned images of OMR was handed over by Data Scantech to NISA Communications in the digital form, leaving the original hard copies of the OMR sheets in the office of the SSC. According to the CBI report, the SSC handed over the answer keys for all subjects to NISA Communications Private Limited for evaluation of the OMR responses. CBI seized the server database of the SSC during the course of the investigation. On 15-16 September 22, 3 hard disks were recovered from the residence of a person by the name of Mr. Pankaj Bansal, a former employee of NISA Communications Private Limited at Ghaziabad. Certificates dated 19 September 22 under Section 65 capital B of the Evidence Act were obtained from Mr. Pankaj Bansal. During the course of the investigation, data files containing scanned OMRs, among other things, were seized from Data Scantech Solutions. The report of the CBI contains the following observations in para 12 and 13 of the report. Para 12, that a similar exercise of matching the data available on the hard disk of Pankaj Bansal with the data seized from the commission was done during the course of investigation, and it was found that there were mismatch between the two, inasmuch as the written marks awarded to candidates as available on the server of the commission had been increased to qualify undeserving candidates. This mismatch establishes that manipulation in marks of written examination in the case of many candidates was resorted to, and such candidates were identified. The comparison of these actual genuine OMR marks with the OMR marks available in West Bengal Service Commission server shows that there is a manipulation in 952 numbers of candidates of class 9 and 10, 907 numbers of candidates of 11, 12, 3481 numbers of Group C candidates, and 2823 of Group D. That during the course of investigation, several emails were found to have been exchanged between the accused officials of the commission, certain private persons and officials of NISA. These emails contained lists of candidates whose OMR marks were found to be increased in the server of the commission. Besides these, the emails have been exchanged between the staff of NISA themselves, containing the manipulated data of candidates. This shows the complicity of officials of Mrs. NISA in this conspiracy. The above noted investigation by the CBI indicates that it has found a manipulation in respect of 952 candidates for the selection process of assistant teachers for class 9 and 10. In the case of 907 candidates for class 11 and 12, 3481 candidates.
This will indicate that the marks were increased when they were uploaded in the server compared to the written examination.
That's right. So,
That's all, that clarification is just, we wanted that.
yes. Apart from the above report of the CBI, the impugned judgments of the High Court contained in para 240 a reference to the fact that SCSC had submitted a statistical report of the 4 selection processes tabulating the alleged irregularities. The tabulation is reproduced below for convenience of reference. So, Lordship will see that with regard to assistant teacher, the irregularity percentage is 8.5. Assistant teacher 11-12 is 14%. It is larger in case of Group C and Group D. The High Court has also noted that in response to its queries, the SSC had submitted details of the recommendations which were made by it in respect of the 4 categories and the number of appointments issued by the board. The figures submitted by the SSC indicated that the actual number of persons who were appointed by the board was in excess of the recommendations made by the SSC to the following extent. Assistant teachers 1539, assistant teachers 912 199, Group D 669 and Group C 416. On the basis of the data which was submitted before.
Just 1 minute over here. The recommendations for Group D was that this is the enhanced number. Above that,
Yes.
that is enhanced number above the figure of, say, in the case of 11,610, 5596, 2037.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Only for.
Yes, please. Continue.
And the SSC had submitted details of recommendations which were made by it in respect of the 4 categories and the number of appointments issued by the board. Figures submitted indicated that the actual number of persons who were appointed by the board was in excess of the recommendations made by the SSC.
Okay.
So this is another fault, that some more people.
Yes, please.
On the basis of the data which was submitted before it by the SSC, the High Court has observed in para 241 that the illegalities admitted by the SSC cannot be said to be within tolerable margins in a selection process of a large magnitude, and that the SSC itself did not discount the fact that the possibility of the existence of further illegalities may still exist. The High Court further noted in para 273 that the SSC had not been in a position to state that it had checked all the records so as to be definitive about the number of illegalities, and the state government had also accepted that there were widespread illegalities in the selection process. On 19th May 2022, the government of Bengal in the school education department issued an order creating 6861 supernumerary posts of teachers and non-teaching staffs for absorbing the wait-listed candidates, and directed that appointment letters to such wait-listed candidates shall be issued in terms of the recommendation of SSC, subject to the outcome of the pending litigation before the High Court. Now, this will be one of the issues which I am concerned with, which I'll elaborate.